Let's get ready for Monday Mortgage Minute with your hosts, Tom McNamara and Bruce Woodburn.
Good morning, Bruce.
How are you, Tom?
I am doing fantastic.
My apologies. I'm on the road today, and I pulled over, and I've got a guy with a blower right outside my window here, blowing off somebody's yard.
But, you know what? It always I hear one down the street from me. It always the case. It is what it is, man.
Well, they're working hard, man. They're working hard. They're doing their job.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, a lot of stuff going on right now. And I wanted to share with you, Tom, if you're not aware of this, or if our listeners, realtors, clients aren't aware of it, when we have a client that's got high net worth or has, let's just say, has money in the bank, but they don't have a lot of income, right? I can convert that net worth into income using a trust as a vehicle, meaning that I can take, let's just say you got $250,000 in the bank, but you only have $1,500 a month in income, and you want to buy a $450,000 house. Well, you're not going to qualify because you only got $1,500 in income, right? Mm-hmm. I can take that $250,000 in assets, have the client put it into a trust, and then have the trust pay the recipient of the trust, the beneficiary or grantor of the trust, a disbursement.
Yep.
So I take that $250,000, I divide it by 36 months. I got to prove you got continuance. So that's about $7,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I add that to the $1,500 worth of Social Security or whatever other income, if they have any. And now I can use that as income. Mm-hmm. And I can take people that don't have a lot of income but have assets and qualify. But our friends Fannie Mae, and I don't mean the cookie company, I mean Fannie Mae, has decided to eliminate that as an option for people. And they're now requiring, as of November the 1st, that if you want to use that to qualify, you have to show a 12-month previous history of receiving it. Now, they set out that this is a guideline change, but we don't have the SOP on exactly how it's going to work just yet. But I can tell you one thing, this is going to hurt people that are well qualified. I mean, you think about that. Wouldn't you rather do a loan for somebody that's got a bunch of money in the bank rather than somebody that's got the income, but they got a high debt ratio and they just, they're barely squeaking by to buy a home and barely squeaking by with debt ratio? I mean, doesn't it make more sense that the high net worth person would qualify better?
You would hope so. It's just, I mean, it's a government rule, right? Fannie Mae, I mean, they're quasi-government, right? They don't always make a lot of sense, Bruce. I don't know if we talked about this one before or not, but I do a lot of flips, right? And
yes, you do.
Sometimes we're in and out in 15 to 30 days and we're ready to list, we're ready to go. And when we list it, we have to restrict it from FHA financing because the FHA has a rule that we have to hold it for 90 days before we can accept the contract, right? Yes. And they do that, quote unquote, to protect the consumer, right? Well, that's great, except there's multiple different loan products. There's USDA and VA, which are government backed.
And conventional.
And then you got conventional, right? So you got these loan types that they're out there, we're not worried about those people, right? Our veterans and our rural owners, right? We're only worried about this one segment of the population that's going to go FHA. It's just silly, And
it doesn't make a lot of sense. And it actually, in my opinion, discriminates against the more challenged buyer, the lower income buyer, the one that's a little bit more challenged when it comes to credit, income, assets. And here we are trying to help those people get into the market and get out of renting. But you've got government agencies that set guidelines that make it more and more challenging for
Yep.
people in that income bracket to purchase a home. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The intent behind the guideline ultimately was to protect the consumer against flipping rules where, somebody went in and bought a house for 200,000, put, $2,000 worth of repairs into it, and painted the pig a little bit, and then made $100,000 in profit. Well, my opinion is if the house was worth $100,000 more, then a fair appraisal is going to come in for $100,000 more. And that's going to tell the truth right there.
Yep.
But that's not their rule.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it definitely does hurt good people that are out looking for homes. And so this, I know we've actually done one of these loans before with the trust thing, right? And
Yes,
so,
I do a lot of them. I do a lot.
I know
of them
I've done one. I know you've done a bunch because you're the one that taught me that particular trick that I'd never heard of. And I know we don't have enough time to go through this today, so we're going to put this down for next week. But I'm starting to see a lot more flexibility on the seller's part, right? Not every seller, right? Because some sellers are smart and they price their house just a little bit below the market, like you're supposed to, and then they get multiple offers and they sell quick, right? But the sellers that are shooting for that higher number and they're trying to push the market still, even though it's not there, they're actually becoming more flexible 30, 45, 60 days in, right? And we're starting to see people take, all right, I'll take a $20,000 reduction. That's on a $400,000, $500,000 house. They'll take a $20,000 reduction or a $20,000 credit to the seller or a $20,000 buy down, right? And so, next week, let's take a little time and kind of wrap that around, because I don't think any one of those is the right answer or the wrong answer. I think it all depends on the person, right?
So what we'll do, if for everybody that's watching this right now, next week, I am going to break it down. We'll take a $450,000 house and we'll throw, say, $15,000 from the seller. And you either take it in reduction of price,
Yep.
you take it in a permanent buy down, you take it in a temporary buy down, so you can see the differences there.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. Because people need that to be able to make decisions, right? And and it's tough to find the right house these days, and be able to get into it. And so, I've found that going after those houses that have been on the market for a little while is helping my buyers, because those sellers are just by definition going to be a little more flexible.
Well, the ones that are really struggling right now are the buyers that qualify for 200, 225. Try to find a house, for that amount. I mean,
for that amount, and that doesn't need $100,000 worth of repairs.
No, and then what they'll do is they'll gravitate toward maybe a condominium, and then they go, well, that's got a $450 HOA. Now I still don't qualify for that, even though it might be a $150,000 unit. So again, our government is all about helping low income people, but they don't. They say it out of one side of their mouth and they do something completely different out of the other side of their mouth. If you think our government is there to help the low income family, I can tell you right now, it is bumpkiss.
Bupkis. That's a good word, man. I like that.
Well,
so
hey, listen, I gotta run.
You're out there. You're going to one of your properties to repair some damage, right? I mean, I know you're probably not going to do the repairs, but you're going to figure it out, right?
I'm going in there to check out my progress right now and make sure my appliances that were delivered are not damaged.
Yeah, I've got a list of things. I got 3 big projects going on right now, so I got tons to do. Hey, man, listen, let's put that stuff together next week, and we'll see you then.
Peace out, man. Have a good week.
All right, man. Later.
All right. See ya.